Excellent. Okay. Um, so today we're going to be hearing from Jian Wang, and he's going to be talking to us about the 3D analysis of flood impacts in Missouri City, considering rainfall rates. And he is the GIS administrator down in the city of Missouri City, which is a southwestern suburb of Houston. So he leads a team of 4 down there, and he also teaches part-time at Houston Community College, where he's encouraging the next generation of GIS, and he shares his passions with them. So he holds a bachelor and a master's in GIS, and he's recently done some very significant and valuable efforts after the devastating effects of Hurricane Beryl back in July that hit the Houston area. And he has designed an emergency management dashboard that incorporates flood impact analysis based on rainfall rates. And it really helps them to better prepare for potential flooding, and which obviously is going to help save lives and reduce property damage. So we are excited to hear what he has to say. So on that, I'm going to turn it over to Jian. Welcome, Jian.
Thank you, Maya.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jian Wang, and I'm a GIS Administrator with the City of Missouri City. And thank you for the introduction from Maya. And let me go to my first slide. And thank you so much for this opportunity to present some of my work here at the Missouri City. And I will be presenting a flood impact analysis with a 3D view that considers rainfall rates and also the floodings from nearby rivers. So there are 2 main parts to my work: the 3D model and the flood impact analysis. I will be presenting in the following order to help you understand the context. And first, I will introduce the location of Missouri City. And next, I will show you my 3D level of detail tool, which is called the LD2 building model, which is a slightly more complex model with a simplified roof shape. And this model applies the procedural rules to the building footprints and leveraging the attributes like building height and eave height, roof type, and roof direction to generate the LD2 buildings with the slope and ridged roof types.
Wow.
And after that, I will introduce our flood raster, which represents different flooding scenarios. And then I will merge these elements to provide you a 3D view of flood impacts. So Missouri City is located in the Houston area, relatively close to the Gulf of Mexico, which is a major source of tropical storms and hurricanes. And the hurricane season normally runs from June to November, during which Houston and nearby areas often face direct impacts from storms that make landfall along the Texas coast. And Missouri City is part of Texas coastal plain, and which characterized by flat and low-lying topography. This flatness, limits the natural drainage, making it really hard for the heavy rainfall from storms to flow away quickly. And the low elevation also means these areas are also more prone to flooding from storm surges when a hurricane pushes water inland from the Gulf. And also, another very important point is that the Brazos River near Missouri City and numerous bayous, including Buffalo Bayou, help manage normal rainfall, but they can easily overflow during heavy rain, leading to the widespread flooding. So in this map, you can see here's Missouri City and here's the Gulf of Mexico. So the role of GIS in flood management and response in Missouri City can be categorized into 3 areas. The first one is the dashboard. We use the dashboard during Hurricane Beryl in July to display critical information and provide links. And the dashboard includes the city layers, incident features, and some related road closures information, power outage information, as well as some information on the lifeline conditions, particularly energy, which has a significant impact. So let me. So this is the dashboard, and we would show some critical information about the city, and you have some parameters. The weather. This is from the weather Azures feature. This is live. If you zoom in, zoom out, you can see if there's some weather events, they will show up the numbers. And currently, we don't have any closures because we don't have any flooding right now happening. And so Lifeline that describes that when we suffered from Hurricane Beryl and our energy, we don't have power. We This is in red because this is from provided by Azure features. So this is pretty useful and direct and it's simple to make. And then this is the past events. So you may see that in July 10, this is after 5 days or 6 days of Hurricane Beryl happened. So the energy was still the significant impact. So the next one is flood impact analysis and prediction. This is what I will primarily present today. And then we also use GIS for damage assessment and recovery planning. So we primarily use the Suburb 1-3 for this purpose. CenterPoint, which is Houston's major electricity provider, spent almost 2 weeks recovering power in Missouri City, so which is pretty long. So a lot of people didn't have the power for their ACs. And additionally, we spent over a month in the aftermath of hurricane collecting debris, working with contractors and our team. And there are many fences were damaged, including my own home, due to and because due to a lack of debris removal trucks, debris collection efforts may continue for 2 months or more. Because the residents begin to repair their fences and clear away the dead branches, and our field workers reported the remaining debris and checked the traffic lights and the power conditions. And after the hurricane, some traffic lights still remained out for 5 days. So for the tree assessment, we identified the downed trees blocking lanes or the downed trees blocking the sidewalks. Once we received these reports, we prioritize them, and then the city sends out the crews and the vehicles to address the issue. So here's the traffic light. You may see the red means still out. So this is after 5 days of Hurricane Beryl. I just grabbed the data that we had for you to have a better understanding of what happening during Hurricane Beryl. This is on Highway 6. So we have some traffic lights out and we have some traffic lights powered. And also we have this is the field for our field worker use Suburb 1-3 to collect the debris removal necessity. So you may see something they input the tree leaning on the house, and we also have some they have different types. This is the down tree blocking lane, and we also have some down tree blocking sidewalks. So we received those points and we did this spatial analysis, and then we prioritize them for the better planning of a recovery purpose. So for creating LOD2 buildings, 3D buildings, I utilize the digital surface model and the digital terrain model, and also building footprints. So DSM and DTM, the resolution, with the resolution of 0.5 feet. The screenshot is as resolution to build a 3D building. So basically, I just follow each step. And by subtracting the DTM from DSM and overlay with the building footprint, the 3D LD2 building can be created. And you may see the resolution is 0.5 feet, and which is good enough for simulating roof slope and direction and the shape. you can see the raster, the resolution for the roof is dense enough. So follow the steps in here, and then I got my 3D LD2 building, which is here is the result. The left side displays the LD2 building, which while the right side is a screenshot I captured from Google Map 3D. They are from the same angle and distance. I try to make them same angle and same distance for comparison. And you may see that the roof shapes and layouts are adequate for building a 3D city, roughly, or the flood model. Even though they are not 100% accurate, the roof shapes are simplified, but the building height is accurate. The eave height, roof type, and they resemble the roof structures, making them good enough for purposes. So you may see here the slope of the roof, and the approximate direction of the roof is outlined here.
Hey, Jian, let me just interrupt you really quickly. We have a question. What application was used to collect damage information?
We use a survey 1 to 3. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So the field worker basically just to go out and with the survey 1 to 3, and I set up some some drop-down menus and some input features, so they can go to the field and they can so this is down tree leaning on the house, and this is down tree on the sidewalk and on the lane, so they have different options to choose, and they can submit a picture. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep. And the building height is crucial when overlapping with flood layers. You can use measurement tool to assess flood depth, as the building height is generated during processing and extraction. So you can see that you can measure the building height is pretty accurate because we use LiDAR to extract it. And you may see this house is 32 feet, and then it's also stored in the attribute table in feet and in meter.
We have another question that says,
sure.
Why not field maps?
Well, we can use field maps, and so Azure has a pretty nice dashboard. But in the real work and what the city would request, they want is pretty simple. They just want for someone to go there and can select they can put their point location, set their location, and click on it on the screen, and then they can just have a drop down menu. It's pretty simple. So Server 1 to 3 definitely enough for this purpose. So the field map is also is also very good for this purpose, but it's just different options that we choose.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And also because I got used to use Server 1 to 3 for many cases, so this is something really easy to set up. But field map is also a really good option and choice.
Yeah, it's always easier to go with something that you are very familiar with.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Okay. So I performed a spatial join to incorporate the CAD information, Central Appraisal District information, into the 3D building, so that each building has essential details because we focus on the address and also owner information. This is very crucial. And then if you select the house, you may see we have incorporate property number and the owner name, owner's address, and also the house address. The owner may not live in the house, so we have this useful information from CAD, and to see if we are going to notify the owner or send some letters or to their HOAs. All right, so for the flood raster, this is the second part important to the model. For the flood raster, we collaborated with an engineering firm. There are two flood raster categories. One is you can see this is called the local event. So this considers only rainfall. as shown in the chart, we have 11 scenarios, which each scenario represented by a raster. So you may see the this is indicating that we got 4.3 inch of rainfall over an hour and 6.9 inches of rainfall over 22 hours. And this is 22.9 inches of rainfall over 24 hours. And this is the this is the this is a local event only considering the rainfall. And we have another event which is called the coincident event. Includes river. This includes river overflow as a contributing factor. So, as I mentioned earlier, the Brazos River is a significant factor when considering flooding. During Hurricane Harvey in 2017, uh, it set a new flood record at Richmond Gauge. At Richmond Gauge reached to 55.19 feet. And therefore, so when assessing flooding, we must consider both rainfall and also Brazos River and other bayous. So this chart shows the green boxes representing raster for different scenarios, such as like if you are in here, means that we get 9 inches of rainfall over 6 hours. When at the same time, the Brazos River at Richmond gauge of 46 feet. And you may see these are different options. We have all the raster to represent each scenario. And on the right side, it shows the sunny day event, which means that we don't have rainfall, but the river overflow. And for example, this is one you don't have the raining, you don't have rainfall, but your Brazos River is 54. This also causes some flooding. So in this coincident event, we have 83 scenarios in total. And then plus the local event, we have 94 scenarios. But what you are seeing now is 188 raster, because since each scenario include both depth and water surface elevation raster, because the both raster are important for building a 3D view of flood impact analysis. The water surface is for a 3D view of flood depth. So this is why we have you can see we have depth raster, and also we have the water surface elevation raster. The water surface raster can be seen as 3D flood view. So once I got my 3D LD2 building, and I got my depth raster, and I got my water surface raster, and then the screenshot is as resolution called flood impact analysis. I believe many of you are already familiar with this tool. By using this tool, I created a 3D view of flood impacts on buildings. The depth raster analyzes the buildings are affected by water, and the water surface elevation creates the 3D flood view. So this tool can be used to analyze roads and bridges also. And I primarily analyzed buildings in this case. So, and here's some of my result. I used the scenario of or raster representing 22 inches of rainfall over 24 hours without Brazos River flooding, without Brazos River overflow. And you may see the houses were flooded. We can apply the symbology based on the flood level field, because we have attribute field records. We have the records of flood level. The deeper is flooded, the house we can give the deeper color. And I added some 3D contour lines for better understanding. So you may see this is a very good example that you can see that here is a 61 elevation, 6160. This is totally flooded. when we get 20 almost 23 inches of rainfall within over 24 hours. And some of the area in here you don't see, this is dry because if you read the if you read the contours elevation, this is actually the 66, 67, 65. So this is actually higher. So this is not flooded. And also this is a copy from attribute table. I could select by attribute and filter out the buildings with flood level of over a foot, or it depends on what flood depth that you are interested in. So you can select by attribute for whatever house is flooded over 0.5 feet or over 2 feet. So this process allows me to extract valuable information. With the spatial join, I have the access to the addresses of the building and also updated owner information from CAD information. So we use the September Foreman CAD information to update our 3D building. And so the next step is to organize these addresses and contact their HOAs or their homeowners directly to notify them for better preparedness for upcoming storm.
Hey, Jian, do you also have a way to notify the occupants? I see that those are the owners because I've done something similar with our emergency management team, but um, and do you have any way to, because sometimes the owner is going to be off site or another state or whatever. So I didn't know if are you going door to door or are you sending out mailers or what, how are you notifying them or
Yeah,
email?
yeah, good question. So this is why we have address, and also we have owner name, owner address. So they may be different because the owner owns this house, they may rent it out. They may out of the city, out of the state. But so this is why currently I work with my emergency management team, and I give them the addresses, and they have the contacts with the HOAs. So the HOA can send them mails, or city can send them mails directly. So
Okay,
whenever
cool.
it's
Thank you.
necessary, I don't honestly, I'm not very familiar with the process of like their contact, their communication in between. But we just give them the address, the house addresses, and also the owner's addresses, so that you can either send out a notification, or the currently they are just working with HOAs because they give the addresses filter out by HOAs. They can send out their HOA with the addresses, and then they can work on their own. HOA can take care of the rest of steps.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Yep. Yep. So, and you may see this is the, if I put the flood 3D. So these are the houses were flooded, and then if you see why here is not flooded, you can or street view. And then I put the contour here. This might take a while. I will show you in the web scene. So it took a pretty long time to process all the 3D buildings in the entire city because it needs really long time to finish the process. Just the computer needs to take some time, and run the 3D LD2 building. So you can see here are the houses like in color, which represents they are flooded, and then we can give them the flooded scenarios. And I can take you to the, if you overlap with the image, you can see I have the DTM as my base map, so you can see it's basically the terrain, the real terrain. This is the river. The water goes up to here, and those are the houses were not flooded because the water didn't get up. And but you can see some streets. So here's their uh streets in front of their house were flooded, but because the house were normally raised up a little bit, so this house were not flooded. But there are some houses you can see in color. I can show you if you go here, they also be flooded. And by this depth, and if you click on it, you can read some informations. This is the flood level depth, which means that the house was flooded with water of 0.4 feet of depth. And you can also see the 3D building, the roof in here in a closer look. I can show you if I turn off, you can see the shape. If I turn off the building, this is pretty accurate because this is really easy and simple roof. And then this is simplified. You can see here the real roof is more complex, and the 3D model is simplified, but it's still usable. It's still like the is good enough for this purpose, and also the houses.
So this is the actual flooding that happened during Beryl,
No, this
or is
is
this just the
during
model?
Beryl we didn't get flooding during Beryl because we were primarily hit by wind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was no
Gotcha.
flooding during Beryl. This is only for future use of possible flooding. Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Okay, and let me go back to my PowerPoint. And this is pretty much so. I have some things to mention. Want to mention here that I know Esri has a tool which is called flood simulation, and you can simulate the rainfall rate also. But we didn't use that this time because as you may remember, that we have the when the scenarios. This is the local rainfall. This is from the rainfall, and the most uh severe one is the Brazos River overflow. So we have to have the Brazos River overflow rasters. So this is why that I didn't use Esri's flood simulation this time, but they can be useful for considering the rainfall rate only. And then another point I want to mention is that we have new constructions are going on, and the new houses, are built, and we need to update our DTM every couple of years to reflect the most recent terrain. Because I noticed that in one area it shows the houses were flooded, but I know they wouldn't be flooded because the houses were just built last couple of months, and the new construction they would raise up the houses, so they wouldn't be flooded. So this is why we need to update the DTM in either like every 2 years, every 1 year, every couple of years. That's based on the how speed that your urbanized process. Because the city is growing really fast and the urbanization is fast, and so natural landscapes are replaced by concrete and asphalt. So and also the amount of like impervious surfaces increases. So that they're reducing the land's ability to absorb the rainfall. So this is why this model is necessary. But also we also need to consider the new houses are continue going on, and the model is pretty accurate for the old houses, the old districts, and there are so many new construction in Siena area that we need to keep update our digital terrain model.
Okay, got a couple questions here. So
Sure.
we have one person, Amy, that says this is great. I am curious how your scenarios compare to FEMA flood maps.
So FEMA flood map is FEMA flood map is we also have FEMA flood map. So the only for some reason, for some concerns that we didn't choose that, we wanna have the raster to match better with the water channel, water forecast, because um normally like we have we need the scenario from our emergency management team. They would request, hey, can I see where it's gonna be flooded with 11.4 inches of rainfall over 12 hours and 20 inches of rainfall with over 24 hours. So this is the request that I get most of the time. So I have a 100-year flood raster and 500-year flood raster, but these rasters that we have this time to better represent the scenario that from water forecast.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And how are you updating your DTM? Are you using LiDAR? And similarly, are you using any terrestrial LiDAR, or is LiDAR aerial only?
So we got this DTM from we bought the raster. We bought the DTM and DSM from vendor. And so they is so LiDAR, we use LiDAR for the houses building footprint, and also the and also to extract the buildings. And DTM and DSM, we bought the raster. They have two different types. So this raster that we bought was LiDAR. And the for the 3D building, DTM, DSM, we have the raster which is captured by photogrammetry. Yeah, from airborne. Yeah, but I don't know. I know the parameters. This parameters something, but I don't know the detail of the process of this kind because we bought the racers.
Okay, great. So if anybody feels like so far that their question is not getting answered, then feel free to unmute and jump in as well. But for now, keep going, Jian. That's all. That's the questions I have so far.
Okay. Yep. It's pretty much what I have today. And if you have any more questions, just let me know. You want to see more about the buildings or the flood scenarios?
It's really fascinating to see the model and it's working, and I'm seeing how you're making different houses depending on the flood, the damage, the level of damage. So it's very easy to find those and target those. We got a question. What has the reaction been from people in your organization and from your citizens?
So this is for internal use. So we haven't make it public yet because we for the public is we primarily just send out notifications for the specific houses will be flooded, we think. And so this is only for internal use for emergency management team and the city management team to have internal view of which houses were flooded, and then the most of and another part they would focus on is is export Excel with the addresses with the flood depth.
Okay, and how have people been responding within your organization? And I mean, you said it's not public, so it's not the citizens, but from internally, how are people responding to this dashboard and the predictive model here?
The dashboard we use the dashboard for the hurricane burial. That was the dashboard was displayed on the emergency management room TV, and we whenever whatever information they need, I can pull them up, and then so it's pretty helpful, especially showing the power outage. So this is the power outage when we this is after a week of hurricane
Wow.
burial. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is they keep tracking of that, and then I keep updating the data
And that was in
they
the
got
middle of
from the
the
field.
early July. So I mean, to have no power during the hottest part of the summer is for
Yeah,
so
so this is
long.
right. This is the
Crazy.
priority that we focus on because the power and AC, they don't have AC, and the city see those points and they open up like if there's any city facility, we would open the cooling center in nearby because because they can change. Sometimes after a couple of days, those areas where power recover and this remained outage. So this is something that has been in the on the TV of emergency management room. Yeah. So this is very useful, and also the people's responding towards the flood inundation, and I think is we have had a couple of internal discussion, and this is since the model was created, the city hasn't suffered flooding yet because since last time Hurricane Harvey, we had some minor flooding, and I used the raster. The most of the scenarios that I used was 11.4 inches of rainfall within over 12 hours. So most that in that case, which we had a couple of times, but there were not there were just a few houses were to be flooded, and the most of the time was just the streets. So we have the streets. So you can see here, this is a scenario for 11.4 inches of rainfall with over 12 hours. So I have a couple of the streets here
Oh,
flooded.
wow.
So this is going to notify Public Works Department instead of the residents, and then Public Works Department would go to the field and then to do some either road closures or something to monitor, keeping a closer eye on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Let's see. Do you use data from surrounding river flood gauges on the Brazos, like Richmond or Rosh Aran, etc.?
I'm sorry, where's the question? I didn't hear clearly just now.
Oh, sorry. We have someone asking, do you use data from surrounding river flood gauges on the Brazos?
Brazos. So the resters were indicating the flooding um s- uh, set by Brazos River gauge.
Okay.
Yeah. So you may
Um,
see, I'm sorry, you may
no, go on, go.
see, So Brazos River is the main river that can have severe impact of the city. So there are some branches like Buffalo Bayou, and this considers the Brazos River at the gauge, by different gauge. So normally
Okay, great.
this is when Hurricane Harvey, where the Hurricane Harvey is at, 55.
Wow.
Yep, yep.
Okay, thank you. And let's see, have you or do you intend to integrate your stormwater infrastructure into your modeling at some point?
Yeah. So the modeling considers the stormwater drainage. When we created the raster, it did consider the drainage because they have a industrial standard of the pipe size, and then the city's infrastructure for storm sewer, storm drainage. Yeah, those considerations we have. And for all of the new houses built in Missouri City, and we require they have a drainage, is artificial lake that is not only for decoration, but is also required for drainage.
Okay,
And we
great.
also
Yeah,
consider the shade valve and the pipes underground. Yeah, so there's somewhere else to drain the water out.
excellent. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, another question. This is used as a predictive tool to enhance preparation on an individual home level, but is it also used to analyze damage after a storm? Is that correct?
After storm, this is pretty primarily for an advance prediction. So for say that we watch the water forecast and say that the next 24 hours we will get 22.9 inches flood rainfall. And then this is a time that I run the model, and to get the attribute table, filter them out, and then to see and send them out notifications. And this is I think the emphasis was before by
Okay,
watching the
gotcha,
forecast. Yeah. Yeah.
gotcha. Next question. Is it correct that the flood scenario rasters were something bought from a vendor? I think you did say that you did buy them, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so yep. And the last question I have so far is, what was the most, um, oh, hold on, I would like to hear the answer to Sean's question. Okay, so that, hopefully you got that, Peter. And the next question is, what was the most challenging part with creating your flood impact analysis map?
During the whole process, I spent the most of time on the 3D building. Because the parameters set up, and you need a lot of customizations, even though there's tool ready, but different combinations of raster, different combination of the parameters can cause the building extraction failure or not accurate. And every time I run because it's for the entire city, and we have in database we have 43,000 buildings, and for the normal, our computers is a challenge. And every time I would need to run for over 12 hours or a day. And
Wow.
so sometimes you get an error, and you have to restart. And then, or sometimes you see the roofs, only half roof of the city were extracted or in shape, so you have to restart the model and to change another set of parameters, combination of parameters. So
Mm,
this is a lot of couple of tries, and the tries itself doesn't make too much time, but each try means that you have to run the model for 20 hours,
that's
without the error. So
such a crazy amount of
yeah,
time. Wow.
yeah. Once I get the 3D building here. So in this case, you don't have to have LD2 building. So if you have only LD1 building, which is enough for this, but just that you probably don't have the building height. but we
Yeah.
don't consider the rainfall can flood your entire building. So if in that case, it's going to be very severe, scenario. You don't have to run a model. Like for example, if we have something like a 500 flood, you just evacuate, just send them a notification to evacuate instead of like sending them the notification, hey, how much water that your house will be flooded. So if say
Yeah.
your house is flooded,
Like you're gonna get
with
flooded.
yeah, you're gonna get flooded. Just leave.
Just leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Only this is only meaningful for not that severe, So for example, your house will be flooded by 2 feet of water, then which means that you have some options. You can move your furnitures upstairs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Next question. Have the flooding results shown here been compared to results from a 2D model such as HECRAS or XPSWMM, which models channels and stormwater? And if so, how did these results compare?
Sorry, I don't know what that stands for. I need to do some research on it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with those either, so I'm not sure if I even said them right. But
Hmm.
so you can look into that and get back to us. Okay, great, excellent. Next question: any coding involved to create this model?
No, no. So this is I the 3D building, the two biggest part to this work is our one is 3D LOD tool building, and another is flood impact analysis itself, the tool, and they are both as resolution.
Hmm.
So the most of efforts that I make on this is just to try to play with different parameters to set up, because when you get involved into the work and for different parameters, they can give you, just like what I mentioned, they give you so many different instances, had to happen. So that was the most uh, confusing part, but no coding is needed for this purpose.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
Hmm.
Another question: are you comparing the models to actual observed events to assess and improve accuracy, or are you planning to do that in the future?
Yep. Okay. I'm reading the next one. Okay. So I did observe sometimes, because I also want to see how accurate the model is. And the real life is really complicated, so for example, so we can only assume we assume the drainage, the drainage works, right? But sometimes, that was blocked by the debris and then caused the regional flooding. And that is something that the model can never, I'm not saying can never, but is can is hard, really hard to predict. You have
Uh-huh.
some unexpected issue happened.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
but for the I went to, so for the most scenarios that we faced was 11.4 rainfall inches rainfall with over 12 hours. For those areas, the streets were flooded, showing in the model. So I went to the real street and see there are some waters in there, but the
Mhm.
water depth may not be exactly matching our model size. But for example, if the model says, hey, you will get the point one feet of flooding, then probably in real life it's not point one. It may be just no flood, or it may be more.
Of
But if
course,
the
yeah.
model says, for most of the cases I went outside, that when the model says that, hey, the street was flooded a foot, then you will get some flood water in it, even though it's
Yeah.
not a foot, but at least a half foot, you know. Yeah. So there's some
Uh,
accuracy. Yeah.
okay, sorry. Just a comment here. Sean is saying, I'm thinking that maybe the HECRAS or SBSWMM or HECGEORAS are what were used to create the flood scenario rasters. Hopefully I'm not butchering those.
Hmm.
But um, So he's just making a comment there.
Yeah, for that scenarios resters, we work with the engineering firm. So I think I can take notes of this, and I will have a meeting with the engineering firm to see this is that the methodology to use. I can go ahead and check with them. Yeah, but I was not personally myself work on the resters, flooding resters myself.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Well, we're right at 1 o'clock here. Are there any other last minute questions? People seem to have been enjoying it. We've been getting some good compliments in here and saying it was well done, very informative, and everyone is very thankful. And so it looks like that's it for today. And yeah, great work,
Thank you.
impressive. You did a great job, Jian. We really appreciate having you on.
Thank you so
And
much for your attention.
absolutely, absolutely. And great presentation. So thank you all